Hey, what's going on everyone, this is the Anime Man. The 21st century is already quite an interesting millennium as us human beings are trying our absolute hardest to achieve some form of equality. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Race, gender, economic, health, social, you name it. It's not a difficult concept to grasp for a lot of people, but it's certainly an extremely hard one to achieve in reality. But I say so far, especially when comparing it to the previous millennium that had so many issues that I can't even have enough time to mention in this video, we collectively as human beings, I think, have done a pretty good job in being one step closer to achieving that supposedly impossible goal. Look, we still have a lot to work on, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think we are moving in the right direction. And I think we're able to do that because more than ever, there are more and more people who are starting to have civilized and open discussions about seemingly sensitive topics. Yes, it may start a lot of wars in any sense of the word, but it's hell of a lot better than just turning the other cheek and just pretending that some fucked up shit isn't happening in front of our eyes every day. At least we're using our mouths and words rather than tanks and artillery. And yes, because I am the one that is talking about this topic, this discussion has also sprouted its wings over in the online anime community as well. It may be old news at the point of me uploading this video, but many people have been giving their opinions and discussions on the recent controversy, quote unquote, that has been started by the folks over at Crunchyroll, with the upcoming release advertisement for their first ever original anime series simply titled High Guardian Spice. If you haven't caught up to speed on the supposed drama surrounding the whole situation, then I'll leave some links in the description below to videos that have explained every nook and cranny of the situation. Because frankly speaking, I'm not here to discuss the goddamn show. If you thought you were gonna see me crap all over this new Crunchyroll anime and rip it a new asshole, then I'm sorry to say it, but you're probably gonna come out of this video with some completely different information. To be honest, I think criticizing a show before it's even come out, before we even know what the fuck it's going to be about, is so goddamn stupid. I don't know if this show is gonna be good, but I don't know if this show is gonna be bad either. How the hell should I know?
I didn't make the goddamn show.
Instead, today I'm going to be criticizing one aspect of the supposed controversy that has gotten a lot of people salty in the community, and that is the whole diversity agenda. In the now infamous video over on Crunchyroll where they advertise the new original series High Guardian Spice, they supposedly talk about the brand new show by saying that there is going to be a quote-unquote diverse cast of creators that are here to revolutionize the industry. I mean, yeah, they're right on the money with that paraphrasing, if by diverse you mean 100% white women. Here's the thing that many people I've seen online have gone on to criticize the methodology of using this whole diversity agenda to promote their new show. But I've seen basically no one talking about the root of the whole situation, which is that the whole diversity problem supposedly that exists doesn't really exist in the anime industry to begin with. Because I think a lot of people, including the folks over at Crunchyroll, are kind of forgetting that in terms of the diversity of gender that exists within the anime industry, which they are clearly using to advertise the new show, there are plenty of female creators who are representing and making some big bank, some big influence, some huge names in the anime and manga industry. Why don't we start with what I can safely say is one of the most influential female manga artists of all time. This woman right here. If you don't know who this woman is just by looking at her face, then you may recognize her from her name, Takashi Rumiko. If you still don't recognize her by name or face, then you may recognize these series that she has created over the span of her very impressive 40-year career. Not only has she single-handedly created some of the most famous works of manga and anime adaptations, but her works have influenced dozens of other successful manga artists like her. And with an impressive artillery of works under her belt, it's been estimated to have sold over 200 million copies worldwide. Not only that, but in July of this year, she was inducted into the Eisner Hall of Fame, which is, I guess for those of you who don't know, is the equivalent to winning the Oscars of comics. But I feel one of the most important aspects when discussing Takashi Rumiko's works in this whole non-existent diversity agenda that exists within the anime industry is not just that she is herself a female creator, but it's that the way that she portrayed female characters in her stories were considered absolutely revolutionary for its time. In almost all of her work, she was careful to make the female characters shine through to the forefront just as hard, if not more, than their male counterparts. Her female characters were often depicted as strong-willed, loud, and violent, which went against the grain of what most shonen-based female characters went with throughout these times. While many other female manga characters were often depicted in sexual, submissive ways, as was the want for the male demographic of shonen manga at the time, Takahashi continued to pump out characters that showed a strong sense of gender parity that fought against that supply and demand. Starting with Ramu-chan from 1978's Urusei Yatsura, and continuing on with Kyoko from 1980's Maison Ikkoku, Ranma from 1987's Ranma Half, and Kagome from 1996's Inuyasha. Mind you, in the case with the debut work Urusei Yatsura, this was released during a period of shonen manga that loved to focus its female characters as merely side characters, that were there to make the male protagonist shine harder into the forefront than he probably deserved to be. To have a female character be the main spotlight in the story was a pretty forward-thinking method that Takahashi managed to pull through from start to finish. And with the many diverse ways that female manga and anime characters are portrayed today, you can't deny the absolute massive influence she brought to the entire industry. But don't think that Takahashi Rumiko is the first or the last female manga artist and female anime creator, essentially, to be revolutionary or important or successful in any way. Because we also have a lot more room to recognize the other fantastic, successful, influential female manga creators like Takeuchi Naoko, the creator of Sailor Moon, Arakawa Hiromu, the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist, and Saito Chiho, the creator of Revolutionary Girl Utena, among many others. So yeah, even though on the grander scale of things there may be more male manga artists and more successful manga artists who are male, we definitely can't forget and we definitely can't stop to appreciate the females that have come out here and not only given us some absolutely fantastic and universally loved works, but have also shown us that there are ways that we can bring forth the female characters out into the spotlight, and that it's even an option to begin with. It definitely was a revolutionary change started by the females. But then you might be saying to yourself, well, Joey, High Guardian Spice isn't a manga, it's an anime. Those are two different things. And yes, sarcastic top hat wearing motherfucker, you're right. While all of these aforementioned female creators are stupidly talented in the manga department, they don't exactly fall onto the animation side of the otaku spectrum. But I'm about to say something that'll absolutely blow your mind. Come closer, come closer, come closer, come closer, come closer. There are female talents in the anime industry too. And I'm not just talking about the voice acting side of the spectrum. Like, that is, if anything, completely dominated by the females. If anything, we need more guys representing that side of the spectrum, but I'm definitely not going to open that can of worms in this video. Maybe for a future video, who knows. Because let's not forget that there are so many goddamn talented female creators, writers, and directors in the anime industry right now that have been making shit for years, almost decades in some cases, that just go so sorely unnoticed and so sorely underappreciated. Take for instance this woman right here, Yamada Naoko. Believe it or not, she's actually the director for some of the most visually stimulating and masterfully choreographed anime series and films, thanks to, of course, in no small part, the comrades of hers over at Kyoto Animation. You can see her absolutely masterful directing and choreography work on series like K-On!, Tamako Market, Hibike Euphonium, and even the recent massive hit anime film, A Silent Voice. Other notable and equally talented female directors include Kon Chiaki, Ishizuka Atsuko, and Matsumoto Rie, among many others. And of course, when talking about female creators in the anime industry, we can not forget the absolutely legendary anime writer Okada Mari. The way this woman can create stories in anime just absolutely blows my goddamn mind, and the amount of people who probably are scratching their heads right now thinking, who the fuck is this woman, blows my mind even harder. Okada Mari is the writer for some of the most prominent story-based anime series, including Anohana, Nagi no Asukara, and even had a directing debut with the absolutely magical and sorely underappreciated Makia movie. And Jesus Christ, I have so much to say, especially about the last one, the Makia movie. So much so that I'm probably gonna save it for a video of its own, which will hopefully come out soon. Her stories and scripts just make the overall experience of a story just flow seamlessly, with very few oddities and outstandings in its narrative. Of course, since a lot of the time these stories that she's responsible for are adaptations of already existing works, some of the narrative oddities and misdirections may be a result of not Mokada Mari's per se, but rather more from the original creator. But while we're on the topic of stupidly talented female creators in the anime industry, let's move over from the directing and writing side of things over to the more audio side of things with the legendary Kanno Yoko. You may not know her face, but you certainly know the music that she has composed and arranged, including the legendary Cowboy Bebop opening, both openings and endings to Saucer no Aquarion, and even has the entire Ghost in the Shell standalone complex soundtrack under her already impressive belt. Now look, if you're like the folks over at Crunchyroll, or the many creators and anime snobs who have shit all over Crunchyroll by forgetting these already existing female creators and are just so focused on this non-existent diversity agenda that exists or doesn't really exist in the anime industry, I don't really blame you. Unfortunately, a lot of these people don't get recognized and do get forgotten because they are technically standing behind the backstage curtain of production, and it's only massive stupid nerds who have way too much time on their hands who go out and look for anime creators and go out and look for anime creators when watching their anime or doing their research that would know anything about any of these people. Don't look at me like that. But hopefully, thanks to the sheer amount of information dumping Wikipedia style that I have given in this video, I think it's pretty safe to say that the anime industry, in terms of gender diversity, is pretty good, fam. But I think what annoys me more than this whole gender diversity issue that everyone is sucking each other's dicks about, it probably annoys me the most, is the fact that all of us in this community are taking for granted and forgetting that out of all of the niche nerd culture communities that exist on every corner of this filthy internet, the anime and manga community, the otaku community, is probably the most diverse, equal, and accepting communities out there. Especially when you compare it to other nerd culture communities like the gaming community, for example. Remember Anita, everyone? Good times. Compared to that, the otaku community has extended its reaches to not just every single country of the world, with every race, gender, ethnicity, religion, social and economic status, but has even extended to certain niches within the niche of anime to cater to every single type of otaku in the world. If that weren't the case, then how do you explain the existence of things like Yuricon and Yaoicon, and those two being individually massive successes in their own right? The sheer existence and success of these niche within niche cons like that is probably good evidence that this community is quite diverse and quite accepting of every type of person. Look, I've been to a lot of anime conventions over the past couple of years since I've been doing this whole anime YouTubing fiasco, and I can tell you firsthand the sheer amount of diversity that exists within the community is awe-inspiring. There are males, females, LGBTQ+, of every size, shape, and ethnicity all having fun indulging in their otaku-loving ways, with other people who have just as much passion and love for their hobby. For as niche and underground as anime is in the world right now, that's a pretty impressive turnout. And that, I must say, is a fucking beautiful thing to witness. So in conclusion, no, I am not mad at Crunchyroll for making or attempting to make an original anime series. Fucking go for it, my dudes. If it's successful and people want it, all the more power to you. And at the end of the day, no, I'm not even mad at Crunchyroll for using this whole diversity agenda to promote their new product. Because hey, even though it may not necessarily exist in the anime industry, it is a problem that still exists on the grand scale of things in the world. Like, as I said at the beginning of this video, we're doing a pretty good job moving closer to that equality and diversity that a lot of us want, but we're not quite there yet. We still have a lot of work to get there. I'm just annoyed that not only Crunchyroll, but the people who are shitting all over Crunchyroll, the people who are for Crunchyroll for the new High Guardian Spice anime, the people who just want to see Crunchyroll burn to the ground, almost all of these people are forgetting that the gender diversity issue that is raised in the High Guardian Spice advertisement doesn't exist in the anime community. Can we stop forgetting that we are doing so much better than so many other communities out there, boys and girls? What we need to be doing, instead of doing this whole witch hunting and shit talking and bashing on whatever side of the spectrum you may be on this whole controversy, we need to be coming together collectively and going out and appreciating the already existing female creators of both the manga and the anime industry, and recognize the absolute fucking awesome work that they have done for the already existing industry. Because those are the true heroes of the industry, and that's exactly what I wanted to say when making this video. Because it doesn't take long to find and research about these awesome female characters. A very simple Google search will suffice. Don't take the already existing diversity and equality of this community for granted, because it's a very precious and beautiful thing that I don't think anybody here wants to be seen exploited, but also completely destroyed. But hey, that's just my opinion on the whole thing. You know how it works, and I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say, considering that almost everybody in the fucking anime community right now has given their opinion on it in some way or another. Hope you guys found this video somewhat entertaining and informative, and again, I'm sorry if you were here to see me just rip Crunchyroll a new asshole. I honestly couldn't be fucked to do it. There are already like 300,000 videos of people who are doing that because it's very easy clicks to get. And again, I just wanted to discuss the more important issue, the root of the problem with this whole controversy. And I definitely want to hear what you guys think, so make sure to let me know all that kind of stuff in the comments below. And to the question that people have been asking of, am I going to watch High Guardian Spice? Probably not. Just by looking at the advertisement, just, you know, completely disregarding the whole controversy, just looking at the show as an individual show, it just does not seem like a show for me, and if it's not a show for me, then why bother checking it out? Unless you guys want me to watch it, and possibly make a video on it, depending on how good and or bad it is, let me know, I guess. If I follow me on Twitter. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, what the fuck are you doing? You should probably do that right now. For now, I'm gonna go rewatch Makia and listen to some Kano Yoko, because they're great, talented women, and you guys should do it too. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for more anime banner, and I'll see you guys next video on whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao!